Yo, what's up, guys? A question I've been getting a bunch of times. Why am I not making a guide for dragons? What is with dragons? Why are you not farming dragons? And no, I'm actually not farming dragons at all on this account. And there's a pretty good reason for it. Could I definitely run dragons? Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you just simply use this team and I would say replace the oak for a crow or a spectra or whatever, or you can replace this one for a crow, spectra, or a crow, it will definitely work. It will absolutely run Dragon's Abyss hard, and it would not be an issue. But there's a good reason why I'm actually not farming it, and it's actually a combination of multiple reasons. So, first of all, if we look at the dungeon drop rate of giants, we are counting, if we exclude the intangible, we are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of runes. Off of which I would say Swift is good, Blade is usable, Fatal is usable, Despair is good, Energy might be a little bit less interesting. Then we go over here. We also do have Intangible over here as well. If we go to the Abyss Heart, we have Intangible, yes. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Out of which Violent is incredibly good. Focus, somewhat usable here and there. Guard, we no longer really need because there's pretty much no need for Trikaru, so no need for this in the first place. And making one Trikaru on enough defense, it's not that hard. Endure, not that interesting. Shield, you need a few of them, but not that interesting. And Revenge, pretty decent, but not that great. So you do already see that we have 6 different runes in here. We have 5 different runes in here. Same goes for Necro. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of which Rage, really good. Will, really good. Nemesis, can use a decent amount of. Vampire, not the craziest, but a few of them are pretty decent. And Destroy is actually not that bad if you want to go into proper Siege. But then again, Destroy is more late game Siege anyways, because that's more bruise ring. That's actually why you need more Violent. So why am I not focusing on Violent? Isn't Violent the meta? Isn't Violent the game? Isn't Violent like everything? Yes and no. But the thing is, let's say I go into a Siege battle right now. Let's say I start hitting anything. If I want to bruiser this with Violent, I am probably gonna die, because their Violent runes are probably way better than my Violent runes, because this account is about a month old. But if I can one turn snipe them, like, okay, maybe the Fermion is a little bit of a bad example, but let's say I'd be able to snipe those two and then fight this thing for the final fight, I will win. And how can I get those kind of runes? I need Rage runes, I need Swift runes, I need Blade runes, I need maybe Will runes if you go for like them taking a first turn and then you taking over at a turn later. It's not as common anymore. Most of the time you just want to win by an outspeed. But same as this, like if I start bruisering this, I will lose this. If I start sniping this and I take this out with a Covenant, I take that out with whatever for other unit, I will probably win that. And sure, there's definitely some matches where you can't really outspeed and you still have to kind of bruiser. And sure, you do need a decent amount of Violent runes. But then again, you also have to keep in mind, besides just Violent runes being on a higher drop table or being on a drop table where there's 6 rather than the 5, so therefore the odds of you getting a Violent rune is already lower. Every dungeon also has one drop of one rune type that is lowered in the first place. In the case of Giants, that's going to be Despair. In the case of Necro, that's going to be Rage. In the case of Dragons, that is going to be Violent. Back in the days, we had this website, which was Swarfarm, which was also tracking all of the dungeon drops. So for Abyss Heart, between, I think, I have no clue what kind of date this was. Is it doing a specific date? Yeah, between these dates, it doesn't really matter what dates because the numbers are always kind of the same. We can see over here that we have Violent sitting at a 13.4 drop rate, whereas Endure and all of the others are a 16.4. So that does mean that you're getting less Violent, plus lower drop rate, plus lower everything. Just to get a feeling for the difference between Dragons and, for example, Giants for Swift. So here we have selected Giants around the same time. And here we do see that, as mentioned, Despair is slightly lower on drop rate. But even rather than being a 13.4, it's already a 15.7 because of the one rune less in there. But also Swift runes is close to a 20%, whereas, as mentioned, the Violent runes are sitting at a 13.4. And also, once again, we did already establish that we mainly just need Violent runes from this dungeon, whereas this dungeon does drop a lot more things that can help you a little bit. Therefore, I am not going into Dragons. And I might go to Dragons later. Definitely, probably a thing that I will do a little bit later. But as of yet, I don't think it will help me too much to actually improve. Once again, if you want to make a Dragons team, it's the easiest dungeon to run. Just by this team, add in this, you will definitely win. If you add in, what's it called? This, you have a little bit better runes, you will definitely win. The dungeon is super easy. You can literally run this dungeon within 3 hours of a new account if you were really focusing on it. But then again, it's not needed. But then again, might you say, are you not going to get any violent runes? Like, how are you going to get violent runes? You got to get some violent runes at some point. Well, actually, I do have a bunch of violent runes. You get a lot from the achievements early on. But also, if you have any resources of legendary rune crafts, but even maybe some heroes, you want to put those towards violent, because sure, you do still want to get violent. If you're doing R5, you're getting violent grinds anyways. So that is where you put these kind of runes. This was actually a really good one. That was the share rune event thingy, whatever it was called. It rolled pretty good. And those are the kind of things you do want to focus on violent. And for example, you also have this event over here at the bottom with the 100 plus 100 summon thingy, whatever it's called. All the way at the bottom, you can buy scrolls, which is a pretty good buy. Could buy 25. That's a decent amount. But I could also get 66 runes right now. I already did this on fight once or twice. And sure, I do want to recommend put some fight to it because it will really help your account. But I would say for new accounts, maybe do like 50 fight runes, maybe to 100 fight runes. Then you're mostly set for fight runes that you have like in every slot. You have some slot 2 speed, you have some slot 4 crit rates, crit damage, some slot 6 attacks. If you have a few of those, you'll probably get there. But this is also the point where you could say, it's like, okay, I just want to get violent runes because this event in particular does give a lot of legendaries. It's about like 25 to 20 or like 25 to 30% chance of getting a legendary from the runs that I have done just far. So let's see what we have over here. 66 and we got 17. So yeah, that's once again around that the 25 mark, maybe a little bit more. And that is definitely like if you just have a hero resource and you already have decent to okay Vio runes, then it's probably better to put it on fight. But if it's the case where you get legendaries, that's why you want to put it on violent. And this is how I can get my violent without having to waste energy to go into dragons, because in that case I will get a lot of endurance, I will get a lot of focus, I will get a lot of guard, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. I simply don't need all of those. But this kind of looks on a new account. Okay, sure, we're probably going to be selling a few because they're going to be flat stats, but these are the kind of things on the new account where you're like, okay, it's good, we'll keep that. And I think if I go through all of them, like imagine well, wait, are we gonna quad roll this? Are we actually going to? No, okay, but what's close though? It's still a really good one. But if someone likes to do the math, these are all flat stats. That's pretty insane as well. I just want to waste, like, give me a Steve. No Steve. But, okay, as I was saying, if someone likes to do the math, how many runs of Dragon's Abyss Heart I would have to do to get, in this case, 17 violent runes legendary, and then convert that back to how much energy? Let me know that in the comment section. There's probably one dude that wants to figure that part out, but that is an insane amount that you have to do to get there. Sure, you get a lot of other nonsense and blah, blah, blah kind of stuff, but they're going to be less interesting than if you were doing the same amount of energy in Giants or in Necro or in R5. And because of that, I highly recommend you to just use resources of events towards this, rather than saying like, okay, I'm just gonna put, I don't know how much energy in that because violent is the meta, I just need Vio runes, I need speed runes. No, you actually need a whole bunch, a little bit of everything. And with a whole bunch, a little bit of everything, it is a nice way that you can actually spread the things. Where do you get what resources and how do you get those? I'm also doing the +9s right away on a new account where you don't have an infinite amount of mana. Probably not the most recommended thing. Few of them actually rolled decent. Most of them rolled pretty garbage, like this one. Damn. Flat stats throughout. But yeah, at least this way, if this was an attack in there, or we ignore that. No, we don't ignore that. Well, it's still decent enough to keep for this account, that is for sure. That is a keep, but it's really bad for this one in there. But yeah, this might also help you get like a certain re-up target or anything like that. So, and then from these, I probably can still get something good. So let's just open them for now, but then we will actually up them at a later point. Also, something that I do want to mention in this video is that we're closing in on the 30 days of this account. And that is always a very important part. And if people are playing like an account around the same time that I made my account, you're probably at like 3 days left, 4 days left, maybe a little bit more than that. But you're going to be running out of the Goddess Blessing, which is an incredibly good thing in the first place. You get a lot of energy, you get extra EXP, you get extra mana, your cost of your runes are lowered, your rate for getting 2As up is faster, and you just get a whole bunch of extra stuff. So when this buff is still there, you want to make the best use of it, especially on the last few days. So the biggest mistake you can make is farming all the time and just mindlessly farming and actually not upgrading everything just before. So currently I've been farming a decent amount once again, especially with all of the vial runes kicking in there. But you want to make sure that you upped all of your runes, because the moment you're going to do this after the 30 days, it's going to be twice the price. And twice the price is pretty expensive. Also, as of currently, you have free rune removal at all times. You do want to make sure that all of your units have the right runes just before the end of this. So I have 2 days left on this, which will actually be pretty nice for me, because in those 2 days I can do either all of this tomorrow, or the day after will probably be the day after. And I can just focus on like making sure that I use all of my crystals to the maximum potential. TOA just reset, so I'm trying to get the TOA in reset so I get all of my crystals in there. Can waste all of my crystals, do as many runs in Giants, I would say, or in Necro, not Dragons, but Giants or Necro. And then after that, I make sure that all of my teams are ruined, all of my presets are ruined, all of my siege hits are ruined, my arena offense, my arena defense is ruined, my Giants team is ruined, my Necro team is ruined, my R5 team is ruined, and I can just go smooth sailing from there without having to switch runes, without having to up a whole bunch of stuff right away, because currently I do have a lot of mana. And why do you have a lot of mana? It's because of this buff. This buff gives you so much resources on so many things that you just get a lot of mana and a lot of resource. And I think there's going to be a hard fall off for a lot of people the moment you lose this buff. And therefore, I would also say to come to us, make it maybe where you don't just have it like the first month you get so much stuff, and then the second month you're playing is like, yeah, that was fun. Let's quit because I'm missing out on so many resources, because this buff is just an insane amount of resource. I would rather see this buff over the first year slowly been taken away. So let's say the first month it's looking like this, or maybe even half it if this is the OP. Like, make it the first month like that, and then the next month you take away 10%, and then the next month you take away 10%, and then the next month you take away 10%. Because right now, I think what a lot of people will have with this buff is that the first month that they're playing, it's all rainbows and sunshine, and there's so much material, and you catch up so fast, and there's so much cool stuff going on. But the moment you lose this, like losing this, the amount of mana increase, the amount of, like, it's not just like, oh, you get twice the amount of mana. No, you get twice the amount of mana. Your runes upping is twice as cheap. You get free rune removal. This cost you half. Like, that's just, there's so many things. Like, this buff is pretty much giving you like ×6 or ×7 over the whole thing. And losing that from one day to the other, like Thanos snap, yeah, that's going to be definitely a bad taste in your mouth for a little bit of there. And especially if you're a complete new player, like if you're more of an advanced player, you know that this is kind of coming. But if you're a complete new player, you're like, oh, I spent my mana with this kind of pattern and it's fine. And at some point you're going to be like in the second month, like, wait, I had like 140 mil mana. Now I have 0 and it's annoying to get mana. And yeah, this game is ass and that kind of stuff. So that's definitely my recommendation to come to us, like, maybe change that. To be honest, I would say I've been playing a few amount of other games where you have like similar gacha kind of style. You can always switch the runes for free. And to be honest, why not? Why not just make all of the runes switching for free? Keep in mind, you do have a free rune removal every first Saturday of the month. And you can buy another ticket of free rune removal over here. And you can actually buy multiple of those, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can buy 3 a month, and they're 1,000. It's not that cheap, but then again, it's about 1,000 scrolls. And if you're low on mana and you have like a whole bunch of things planned out of what you do want to switch, I would recommend to simply buy this one, because it definitely will help you out. And this is the easiest way to get a free rune removal ticket in there. Before, you actually had to buy it for like 50 bucks or something weird. But yeah, right now that's kind of out there. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this buff, and this buff like just being completely removed. And maybe for the people that have been playing this game for I don't know how long are like, holy shit, this buff, I've never actually seen it. It's so fucking insane, it's way too OP. Well, you have to make something somewhat OP for early game players to catch up in their first few, well, months, maybe even half a year. Because otherwise, if we don't have any new players coming into the game and there's people quitting, at some point the game will bleed out. And that is absolutely not what you would like to see. So this is definitely one of those things that does help new players play the game, get addicted to the game. Now get like attracted to the game, do want to play, do be invested in the game and that kind of stuff, and not necessarily in money as well. It's in time or just enjoying it. Invested in like, oh, I have some cool units, I do want to upgrade them and get better, get higher rates, higher ranks, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. That is the kind of investment that I'm talking about. But yeah, I think it's a hard gap the moment you do lose that buff. So once again, let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. Also, let me know if you're still playing a second account on the side while following these videos. Pretty curious to hear about that. I do see some people are here and there in the chat saying like, oh yeah, I'm playing this account, I got this, I got that. It's pretty cool to see. So let me know what your guys' achievements are on a beginner account. And I definitely will be making a video the moment that I do all of the runing. So there's going to be like a 30-day video, which I'm going to be showcasing like, okay, this is my Giants team. It's runed like that. It's going to be this fast. This is my Necro team. It's runed like that. It's going to be that fast. Same for R5. And then also what are my presets that I use in Arena Offense, Arena Defense, Siege Offense. Siege Defense probably I don't care that much about still, but I'll go over whatever I have been put in here or something like that. And that's going to be a pretty interesting video. So if you don't want to miss out on that, you got to subscribe, like this video. See you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.